Welcome back to another episode of Black Girls Texting. It's your girl, Shade. Hey, bitches.
It's your girl, Charles Pinky.
I didn't know we were singing and I'm not prepared. It's Glenn. Oh, I gotta say it.
That was melodic.
Welcome back to another episode of Black Girls Texting. We're really excited today. We have a great guest. If you are hip to what's happening on the interwebs, you've probably seen this podcast. You've probably seen these salacious tweets that we love ever so much. We've got Jourdan Ash, who's a fellow podcaster and the host of the Dating in NYC pod. She hosts a bi-weekly podcast that focuses on the many lessons in love, dating, and sex. She's also a social media manager, writer, and content producer. And we're super excited to have you on the show to chat Valentine's Day. Is that like an accurate bio for the things that
was
you do?
A good bio. Yeah.
That was a good bio.
Yeah.
I was like, we gotta
usually do a good bio. I mean, that was pretty good.
Listen, there's levels to what you do. I was like, outside of the pod, you have, other work. And I definitely want to highlight that because we talk about the 9 to 5 and the 5 to 9 very often on the show. So definitely wanted to shout that out. And thank you for joining us on this Monday. Whoa.
It's Sunday
morning.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is nice.
Amazing. Love the studio space. I'm saying morning because I'm just looking at Chelsea, who has joined us at 9:15 a.m. from LA after a night out. And I feel for you because I was there too at our gala last night. So we're all lit. But we haven't done this in a while. I want to introduce you to this game that we play. It's called On Read or Reply.
Okay.
And if you're here for something, then you would reply to it like a text that you would answer. And if you are not with it, you're not with the shits, you would leave it on read. So we'll go through it. It's kind of like a spitfire game, but feel free to add any anecdotes. Ladies, chime in on your thoughts. And I'm going to kick it off. The first one is dating a young man from New York City. Are we replying to that or leaving that on read?
I mean, we're replying to it. Yeah. I think I have a lot more needs than I used to have. I've done a lot of long distance relationships, but where I'm at now, I definitely need somebody close. Now, am I going from Harlem to Brooklyn? Yeah. But am I doing Harlem to Queens? No. I'm not doing Long Island, Staten Island. I'm not doing that.
No,
yeah,
absolutely not.
And I'm not doing Brownsville. So,
Damn.
I'm sorry. I'm
Just
not.
Brownsville?
Yeah.
You'll come to Brooklyn, but no Brownsville?
Yeah, because Brownsville is mad far.
It's
like,
far.
you gotta take the train all the way down, and then it's like a 30-minute walk. There's no food over there. And so, like, I'm not doing it.
Oh my God. I was talking to somebody that lived in Brownsville recently, and he tried to get me to come to his house. I was like, no.
There's
Come over
That lives
here.
in Brownsville.
He got chopped right after that.
Isn't Brownsville okay? Is my Brooklyn geography off? Isn't Brownsville right next to Bed-Stuy?
It can be,
Not
but then it
quite.
could get deeper.
Yeah, it depends.
And he
on
told
what
me there
part.
was no food around where he lived. That's what made me think of that. He told me there was no food around there and there was nothing to do.
Brownsville
So I was
is
like,
a
why do you want me to
food
come to your
desert.
crib?
Yeah. Yeah,
maybe
I feel
he
like
was gonna
anybody
cook.
inviting me there, that's just
No, he wanted to
definitely
clap
trying to hook
cheeks.
up.
Exactly. He was trying to clap cheeks.
Yeah.
Okay, off the rip. So everybody knows if you live in Brownsville, sorry, it's a chop. Consider a different location, a different zip code. Dating someone in the music industry, or as our good friends at Oprah Rose say, the A and the R's, the
Alphabet Boys.
letter mafia, the alphabet boys.
Fuck. You guys are asking real good questions. I used to work in music journalism, so back then I did, but like now, a lot of people don't really A&R. They just kind of like dick ride. So I guess I would say it's a chop.
Leaving that
love
on
you.
red.
Straight to the
Yeah.
point. That's being left
leaving
on
that
red.
on red for sure. I don't think I could do that anymore because they're starting to get worse than the rappers, and they don't have a reason to be.
Facts.
Yeah. That's a dub. Yeah.
What
Yes,
about
I'm leaving it on red as well.
music industry?
I'm into like the behind the scenes people if they actually have a purpose, not this like very opaque, like what is an A&R person? Like I've heard people that work in A&R don't even make bread like that, and they can have separate jobs. Like that's like they could like moonlight as an A&R person.
Right. It's
Yeah.
like, are you an A&R or like do you just hang around?
Exactly.
Are you the runner?
Right.
So
The juice at the studio.
Yeah, like
Right.
are you at the studio? Are you just on the stage? Are you one of the 100 people on the stage? Or are you like handling business? Those are two different things.
You're handling business.
Yeah, if you're like working, if you're on email, CC, yeah, sure.
Correct.
But if you just on the stage in the Instagram photo, I can't do it.
Correct.
Not CC'd.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. What about the fashion industry? Because when we first spoke, I talked about this tweet that you had reposted about dating men in the fashion industry. And someone else retweeted it being like, I can't stand the girlies.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. You asked really good questions. I'm leaving that on red simply because a lot of the fashion men don't even date Black women. So that's the first half. And then the second half is just like, it's not good for your mental health. So no, that's a chop.
Wait, Shade, I don't know if this is on your list, but going back a little bit to the A&R people made me think about musicians. Like, how do you feel about dating musicians, rappers, singers, entertainers?
I've done it before, not official rappers, like not real rappers, all aspiring rappers. Because I thought it was cute. I thought it was like Brown Sugar, the movie.
Yes.
But it's not something I'm gonna do now. Yeah, no.
Chopped.
Well, won't
On
speak
red.
on what other people on this call are doing. Because we don't want any drama, but anywho, I haven't asked this question in a really long time. We used to talk about this all the time. Red receipts when you're dating someone. Do you want them on or off?
I mean, mine stay on. I'm not gonna like be upset with you if yours are off, if I met you and they were off, but mine stay on. So I'm okay with that.
I was recently talking to someone and they were telling me that they're now kind of like, they're not official, but basically like as they've started to talk more, she asked them to turn their red receipts on.
Yeah, no. Personally, I'm not gonna ask you to do something you weren't doing before me. Yeah, I'm not sharing locations with my significant other. I'm not turning on my red receipts. I'm not doing that.
No location sharing.
No, I location share with like my best friends. And if I ever need you to come get me, I don't have a problem with giving you the address to where I'm at, but you don't need to know where I'm at all times.
Interesting.
I recently, in my relationship, we just turned our locations on because I am anxiety ridden. Is that a word? Written? Whatever.
Written.
And I was texting and calling and I was like, oh my God, was he in a car accident? And he was just at home asleep and forgot to tell me he made it home. So now I'll just be able to say, oh, he's home.
I asked my man for his location because he's always losing his phone because he's a fool. And so we'll have these like, we'll go out, we'll have like weekends and he's in panic. And then he's like, oh my God, I lost my phone. And his phone will be in my fucking car. And so I was like, yo, share your location with me so that we could see like the street that it's on. And it's probably in my car or it's probably in your house or it's probably somewhere close. And he's like, nah, you're wallet. I'm like,
But he can't do that from his laptop?
Well, then you have to do Find My iPhone and all this stuff. It's a routine thing that we're doing like now not so much, but at one point it was like every weekend we were
weekend.
searching for his phone, and I was like, yo, just share your location with me and then I can. And he's like, oh, I don't want you knowing where I'm at. Like, nigga, I'm not about to be going on Find My Friend and try to see where you're at.
Right.
Like,
tracking
periodically
all day
just
long,
looking.
Like I have
Right.
Hey,
nothing
I
to
do that with my girlfriends. I'd be like, oh, you not at home. Where the fuck you at?
Oh.
So I don't even want to get in the habit of
Oh.
doing that with a man.
Right,
That's not
right,
gonna
right.
end well because we just gonna pull up. So I'm not gonna even start that.
That's
So,
fair.
No.
Know thyself.
Know
Right.
thyself.
Makes
I
sense.
mean, I probably would look. Just be
You
like,
would be looking, girl.
I never check that.
I'd be like, where you at?
I always
Mostly
check.
if he wasn't like answering, I'd be like, where are you? And I probably know where it'll be, home.
Mhm.
But yeah, he doesn't want to go there. And I was offended at first because I was like, you think I'm like pressed? Like I think, yeah, he just doesn't want to open that can of worms where we start like being weird, checking where people are at.
I think that's fair.
I understand that.
We got it.
But it's y'all are
Well,
you were
bitch, you
different,
about to be
Chelsea.
married, so I hope
Yeah.
you know where your man is at.
Right. I'm like, we are glued together.
Mhm.
And then my last question is around, it's not really a read or reply, I guess, kind of like transparency on previous hookups. I feel like when you're dating someone in New York, a lot of people may have dabbled in other situationships or relationships, and you might go to parties or events and people that they fucked with have been there.
Mhm.
Do you want to know?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I never want to be the only person to not know, or somebody else tells me something about you that I don't already know. So I absolutely want to know. Like, if we're going to a party, be like, hey, just an FYI, I used to hook up with this person and they're hosting, or I used to hook up with this person and they're DJing. I think it's really considerate to do. So absolutely let me know, and I would let them know the same.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Agreed. Reply.
Yeah, that's a reply.
We're all replying. I'm 50-50. I don't know. I love my man, but he was a hoe. So it's like so many. I'm like, just tell me if it's relevant. Don't tell me about.
Yeah, I don't need to know your whole, like, I'm never going to ask a man his body count. I'm never going to ask how many women it was. But, like, if I go to an event and some girl is being weird because y'all used to hook up and you brought me there,
right?
That's something you tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I want to know, but I don't need the full. Like, I don't need your resume of bitches. Like,
yeah, I don't need the resume. Just a nice heads up. We used to talk. We used to date. Whatever. And I'm gonna say, okay, cool.
Right. And now it's done.
Yeah.
Well,
that's it. But I never want to find out like the hard way, because some girls can be weird and they'll like tell you like, oh, you're talking to so and so. Me and him used to. I need to already know before we possibly get to that situation.
What's the song with Barbara and is it Barbara and Susan?
Oh yeah.
It's like, hi, this is Barbara. It's like an old school song.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yes. All right, y'all. It's time for the group chat. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for playing. I like that game because it just gives us a sense of like more of who you are. And now I'm really ready to kind of get into the nitty gritty in our group chat. As I mentioned, we're all in different dating situations, but I really enjoy your podcast and I love talking to fellow New Yorkers because dating in this city is very different, I'd say, than your average place. I know I have friends from college that are on kid number 2 and 3. And
where do they live?
in like
Atlanta,
Texas. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, over here, people are grown men still figuring it all out. And I don't think either way is wrong, but I do love to be able to just kind of like pick different folks' brains about that. And so I'd love to know like what kind of inspired the pod and got you talking about these topics.
I mean, excuse me. I went to Morgan State University for college, and that's where I started dating. Essentially, because I didn't really date out here because I kind of knew everybody, so I didn't really want to date people I already knew for whatever reason. So I started dating in college. I dated a lot of DC boys, a lot of Maryland boys, quite a few Jersey men, and I'll never do Jersey again. And then I graduated in 2014. And when I came home, I was like, okay, I'm going to date out here. And I just kind of kept running into the same men in different bodies.
Mm.
And I started tweeting. I'm like, okay, so do men really like do this to everybody, or is it just me? And people would be like, yeah, nah, that's a common thing. Welcome home. So it started as like a segment on my blog. And then people don't read. So I was like, okay, well, I can do it as a podcast because my degree is in print journalism. So they taught us how to do everything in media just in case the journalism bubble popped, which it did, obviously.
Wow.
So I started in like 2015, maybe not 2015, maybe 2016, 2017. And then we've been rocking ever since. So yeah.
I love that.
I want you to go back.
What?
Oh.
No, go ahead.
The same man in different bodies. Like, what does that mean? Were there just some certain...
I was literally going to ask the same thing.
Okay, great.
So, like,
character traits, behaviors.
I mean, yeah, I think 2015 in New York was like some sort of like media renaissance. So everybody who was a part of like bubbling Black Twitter wanted to be in media.
Mm.
Everybody was some kind of journalist,
complex.
even if they weren't. Right. So it was like I would go to these events because in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, this is what I have to do, not only to like get a job, but to like meet different people. I would go to these events like maybe 2-3 times a week, and I'm meeting different men, and they all say they work here, but then I go to work and I look them up and they don't work here. Or like I'll meet a guy and he works with this person, and then I meet that person because I work in music journalism. They don't work with this person. So I just kept running into that repeatedly. And I was like, this is all really, really weird. And I think my final straw was I met a guy at this music. It was like a album party for like Boz. And I met him. We hit it off. We had a great time dancing, whatever. I see him maybe like 2 days later at this Chance the Rapper secret concert or some shit. So I go up to go say hi to him, and he runs. And I'm just looking at him like, I was like, damn, that's really fucking weird. And he's running to his girlfriend. So
oh, no.
I was like, yeah. His girlfriend, who I now know, they're not together anymore. But it was just like a really weird situation. I was like, wow, this is really terrible. And that's what I mean by meeting the same men in different bodies. So yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Coming home and like officially dating changed everything for me.
What are your thoughts? Like, do you think there's something about New York men? I think a lot of women who aren't from here, you hear it in music, they're like, oh, they're attracted to New York men. They're attracted to New York men, their swag, just how they move.
I mean, there's huge differences between like men from Maryland and DC versus men in New York. I find like when I dated men in DC and Maryland, they like took me on like real official dates. Whereas when I would come back to New York, men, I would be like, oh, let's go grab something to eat. And they would be like, that's too much. Or I'll be like, oh, you know, let's do X, Y, and Z. And they'd be like, yeah, nah. Instead, I'm really trying to do this, which is something significantly less. I went on more like actual full-on dates, at least back in 2015, with men not from New York than I did with men from New York. Like it seemed like their version of dates at that time were like two different things.
I don't know. I think we also have to add to this. Right. But there's men that are there are New York men, and then there are men that live in New York that like call themselves New Yorkers. And I think it's the ones that move to New York that are the trouble. Those are the trouble ones. Those are the alphabet boys, the I work for Complex, the on the stage, they want to know this person and that person. They all date the same people. Those are the ones.
Yeah, I used to intern at
like-
Complex, so that's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like New York, LA, like any like big city, for a man, it's probably just more like a candy store. Like they have so many different options of like all these beautiful, smart, cool, interesting women.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's overwhelming for them. And I'm not making excuses for these niggas.
I was like,
let's be clear.
excuse me.
But it's like not overwhelming. That's the wrong word. It's just like they can pick and play and put back and switch out. And so it's less likely or takes longer for them to actually commit.
I feel like men always have great options. And then it's like when I talk to my homegirls about our options, or like if we're on an app and we're tapping through the app, our options are very limited. But no matter where you go, men have like prime options.
That's how I feel too. And I was talking to my friend, my single male friend here, and I was like, you're good looking, you're successful, you say you want to be in a relationship. I'm confused why you're not in one. And he was like, it's so hard. There aren't any women that are like of substance and da 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 da.
Oh, wow.
So it's interesting because from my point of view, I agree with you. I feel like they have so many options, but the men are complaining that they don't.
That's shocking to me.
We need to do a survey.
They're
We need to go out into the field because I'm confused.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like when I was on apps, I definitely wasn't looking for anything serious. Like, I was just looking for people that I thought were attractive and that I went to sleep with. And then if something came of it, great. I was a big, like, situation shipper, and that I would just be like, oh, I'm just fucking with you because, like, you know, I want to fuck around. And then I'd be like, oh, fuck, I like you. And then I'd be like, wait, you don't like me back? What the fuck? What's happening? Like, I got curved by a situationship in, like, he would come over to my spot 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, like after like a night out partying. And I just thought that was like fun. And I was like, oh, we're so crazy. We are just partying and having fun. And then I started to really like him because he was like we need to label these men, but he would just like stay in my bed all day. I was like, you don't got nowhere to be, but I kind of liked it because I was like, oh, you like me. Like you want to be in my
Somebody
bed.
got me just like that, same way.
It was like, I think it was an ego stroke because I was like, oh, you're coming over at these odd hours because you want to see me so bad. No, you trying to fuck. And then you're staying in my home all day because you a
You have
bum.
nothing else to do.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm like, that would be so unattractive to me. Why are we laying in the bed? Let's do an activity. Let's go to brunch.
I know, but I was like really, it was a weird time. It was COVID. She was weird.
Okay.
And I didn't tell anyone that we were hooking up because he knew a lot of people that I know. Like, and I think he's hooked up with a lot of people that I know. So I wasn't trying to have my business in these streets. So I didn't say anything. Like, we'd go to parties, we'd walk in together. Like, we'd go there together and then we would part ways. And I'd be like, I don't know you, you don't know me. Like, so.
And that was hot too.
I know, I got it like that. I was like, ooh, secret lover. But then I see this nigga going down my block, not my main block, but my avenue with some other bitch. I was like,
wait, I didn't know that.
mind you, I'm looking crazy. So I'm just kind of like trying to get away. And then I hit him up like, yo, I think I saw you. He said, oh, I think I saw you too. I was walking my homegirl to the train. Your homegirl to the train?
You're walking her to the train.
Come to
Why are you
find
walking her to
out,
the train?
like a month later, he's dating her.
Of course he was.
I
He's
was
nasty.
after that, I was like, I'm done. I can't do the situationships anymore because here I am having feelings for a bum and you out here dating a whole other girl. And I think after that, I was just like, I went on like a dry spell and then I met my boyfriend, but it was crazy. Like, I feel like there's just no loyalty, even though it wasn't a real relationship.
No, even if it's a situationship, there's a little bit of like loyalty or even like a conversation that should be had. What I'm cool with, what I'm not cool with, what you not gonna do, what I'm whatever with. I think a situationship is a relationship. And the people
Period.
kind of forget that. So there is a respecting that has to happen. So if you just pop up with a brand new girlfriend and you don't say nothing, you have 1,000% a right to have to feel something about that. You know, you're not crazy for that. I think a lot of people pretend that you are just because it's a situationship, but it's just a blanket term for a light level relationship.
Right. Like, oh, you're bugging. We weren't really doing nothing. I'm like, but you were inside of me and you were in my bed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. My thing is though, you know, the like, what are we question?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of women are like, I don't want to ask that. I shy away from that question. But in my opinion, at the point where you're in a situationship and you feel like you like the guy, you should ask that question. Or not even ask that question. You should make the statement, I like you. I would like to be more serious in this, or like establish some boundaries. So this is how I feel. How do you feel? Like, I feel like more women need to not ask what are we, but like say what they want.
Chelsea Samuels. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No. I love
the man
you.
was right sometimes.
No, I think, please don't start that. I think that's true. What are your thoughts on that, Jourdan? Like, do you think that there's too much gray area and like more women need to kind of like take the reins?
I'm a Pisces, so I need to know what it is and what it's not almost immediately, because I can pretend that I love you and we gone and now we in love. So
we go together.
I need to know exactly what it is and exactly what it's not, just so I can set boundaries if it's not something that I think it is or that I feel it is. So I'm down to like ask, like, you know, there are men who are like, hey, I want to take you out to dinner. I need to know, is it a date or you know, are we just hanging out? I need to know these things. So,
and you'll ask that?
I'm not afraid to ask anything. It doesn't make sense for me to be around somebody I can't ask questions with.
Agreed. I love that. I love that.
Yeah. I like that.
And it's kind of an empowering thing, right? Because it gives you more of the control. Because it's like, I feel like it's this idea of like women getting picked, but like, shouldn't you also pick who you want? Mm-hmm. Like, you should have some say in the matter. Like, be a part of this, you know?
It's also about like being on the same page. Like, if we're just kicking it, cool, then we're just kicking it. But I'm not assuming that it's something that it's not, because what your words are different from your actions. We agree that this is what we're doing, so this is what we're doing. You know, if we're dating, cool, we're dating. Are we monogamous? Are we seeing other people? You know, what's going on? I ask as many questions as possible. So, yeah.
Glenn, I feel like you're taking this in.
You're
like, well, remember we had a young lady, her name's Nicole. She talked a lot about dating. We had a lot of varying opinions on some of her thoughts, and what kind of sparked the conversation was, she posted,
she said
something about dating with intention. And she said
it's a red flag.
That a little weird. Yeah, because it like puts too much intensity and pressure, and we could talk about that, but really why I brought her up is because she talks a lot about rejection. And in dating, she's like, you have to be comfortable with rejection.
Absolutely.
And not take it personally, but more so just like, I'd rather you reject me and let me know what it is from jump versus me trying to tiptoe around getting my feelings hurt and then, you know, going through something that I didn't need to be in from jump because you weren't really about it, or vice versa.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I know for me, if I want somebody or if I want to go on a date with somebody, I'll ask. But I notice like men typically don't say no. And it's not because they don't want to or whatever's the case. They don't say no because women don't necessarily shoot their shot with men as often as we get shot at, I guess. So even if they don't want to go on a date with you, they'll say yeah because when is the next time somebody's going to shoot their shot at them? So I feel like you have to be comfortable with rejection, because men will go on a date with you and not really want you like that. Men will sleep with you and not really want you like that. And you're thinking it's something else because, you know, you made the first moves. You said your intentions, you set your boundaries, you know, you thinking you on the same page, but you're not, simply because men don't necessarily say no. One thing I've been like realizing lately is that men speak with their actions. And that's something I have to keep reminding myself. So I'm very much in this world of, if he wanted to, he would. And I'm not afraid of rejection. I'd much rather you just be upfront and say, hey, I can't do this. Hey, I have a girlfriend. Hey, I'm seeing somebody. I'm talking to someone. Or I actually don't want this, than me going down the whole road of thinking one thing and it's not. I think
it's
not
so
wanting,
hilarious.
yeah, not wanting me is like a character flaw. It has nothing to do with me.
Period.
So, I don't care.
That was just so funny to hear. Like, I just want the bare minimum. Like, if you have a girlfriend, just let me know. It's just fucking hilarious to me.
It's so much of like, especially from like 2020 on, there were so many instances where my homegirls think they're dating somebody, but then they have a secret girlfriend. Or, you know, you think you're on one page with somebody because he said this is the page that you guys are on, but his actions say something different. All I need you to do is speak up. And that's why I ask as many questions as possible.
And if people are like afraid of that, then that's already a red. You can just chop them, right?
Yeah,
like if they're turned off by the questions that you ask.
Yeah. Yeah. If they're very hesitant, or if they're like, oh yeah, well, you know, I don't know. A red flag is, I'm going through a lot right now. I just got a lot going on. Yeah. You got a lot going on with somebody else who's not me. Cool.
Yeah, I was supposed to go out with this dude this evening, and low-key I didn't want to go because I'm kind of tired. But I was like, fuck it. I asked him out. I've been shooting my shot like a lot, and he's in this friend circle where I'm interested in like almost all the friends. But I decided to go after him first. And, he messaged me like, I got a lot going on. My depression is spiking. Da 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 da. I was like, whoa, okay.
And I mean,
the wrong
that
nigga.
shit might be
I picked the wrong one. So now I'm going to try the friends.
I have no problem with homie hopping. I actually commend homie hopping. I love it. Why are you all friends? It's community.
Y'all are all fine. I'm supposed to just you know, if it wasn't for Instagram, I wouldn't even know that all y'all fine ass people was friends.
Exactly.
So on to the next.
Yeah, no, but sometimes people like dead ass be depressed, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
No, he genuinely has like a lot going on. I felt for him. It was very sad.
Right, and that's all you can do. All you can do is feel for him, and you keep
thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
Right.
Thoughts
Wait,
and
no,
prayers.
when you guys were talking, it made me think of Mandy's tweet. She tweeted last night, men really be living multiple lives, bruh. My friend just found out her long distance boyfriend actually lives in her city with his wife.
I hate you just can't make this shit up. Like, what?
That's nuts.
Crazy. That's crazy.
It's crazy, but like I'm also not surprised.
Niggas are unwell.
Yeah, but like in his own city, like go find someone else.
That's really got me fucked up, because if you're cheating on me in our city, I'm beating your ass.
And you're
Are
pretending
you
to your mistress, you're pretending that you live out of town. So now are you pretending that we're on different time zones? What is like, cause I know what New York apartments look like, the background in the FaceTime, like it's a whole scheme.
It's a brownstone. You out here like, oh no, we got
Boston,
these in Cleveland.
Right? Like what?
Nuts. Men are crazy.
Wow, that's terrible. That's
Isn't
truly
it crazy?
terrible. And it makes me like, my boyfriend and I talk about this all the time, where I'm like, I feel like you can cheat on me because you're way too lazy. Like it's a lot of work to do all of that. I'm like, you barely be wanting to interact with me. Like you'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, come over. Leave me mad tired after a day of work. I can't see you entertaining 3-4 bitches and digging down 3 to 4 bitches. You don't have that in you anymore. I think people just need to get older men when they're
Oh, yeah.
tired
When
and
they're
they're done.
How
Right.
old is your partner?
I mean, he's only 33, but he's
Right.
been in these streets. He's in New York 33, so I feel like that's like 39.
Yeah, I was about to say that's
Correct.
about 38. Yeah.
Like, he done fucked everybody already. He's tired. I'm like,
Wait,
yeah, but like a real New York man that's like actually been outside.
yes.
And the ones that wasn't outside, they still think they're 21.
Oh yeah,
right. They're
Yeah,
just
and that don't
selling
work.
their wild
trying
oats.
to make up for lost time. Mhm.
Mhm.
Wait, I want to go back though because okay, we obviously all agree with the don't be afraid of rejection part. But the part that we didn't agree on when we had another podcast guest on was the dating with intention. And I wonder where you stand on that topic. Do you date with intention? If someone tells you that they're dating with intention, how do you take it?
And can I add to that, Chelsea? Because I think the intention was also for marriage or for like
Yes.
serious partnership, and that's what the our guest was saying was the red flag, like entering into a dating thing with the intention to be married or to be in a committed relationship.
That's not a red flag to me. I don't want anybody in my life that's not intentional. But am I dating to marry? No. So if you let me know, like, hey, you know, I'm looking for essentially a wife, we could probably it'll probably be like the first and last date because marriage is not something that I want to do. That's not something I want to have. And I don't want to hold anybody up from getting what they want. I don't think everybody that I date has to be this like be all end all. But yeah, I think dating with intention of like just genuinely wanting to get to know somebody, yeah, absolutely. As long as we're on the same page, I think we're good. Same page, same book, same paragraph, same sentence. I think we're good. But yeah,
Same word.
mhm,
Letter.
yeah, same word. But yeah,
Wait, so I want to make sure I'm understanding correctly. You don't ever want to get married, or you're just not in that space now?
I'm like 85% not wanting to get married. So yeah.
Have you never
So
wanted
how
to be
has
married?
dating been
Or
for you? Yeah.
I don't know. I've never really like had that feeling of like wanting to be married. And then going to school in Maryland was different because there were girls who went to school to find their husband.
Get their
And
MLS.
that's something I just didn't understand. But yeah, I'm not opposed to having like a full-time serious partner. And I'm not really opposed to marriage, but like I just never really, it's never been like, okay, I want to marry this man. I haven't hit that moment. If I hit that moment, okay, cool. But like, I've just never really thought about a wedding. I've never really thought about like being with somebody forever and what that looks like, because then what comes after that? That's always kind of been my question.
What do you mean what comes after that?
What comes after that? You know, what comes after being someone's wife? You go from talking to someone, right? Then you go to being their girlfriend, to their fiance, and then you're their wife. And then what comes after that? I haven't really had an answer for that.
Life partner.
Yeah, life together.
And then it's over. I don't know.
Yeah, grow old together and then die.
Yeah. That's not really something I want. I don't know.
So you would want like, do you want multiple partners?
No, I'm definitely monogamous. I don't know. I just never thought of like marriage and me.
I mean, I say this all the time. Even my boyfriend knows this. I definitely see myself as like a J-Lo, Elizabeth Taylor, you know, multiple husbands. Like, I'd be like, if we get married, you're my baby daddy. Cool. We might, you know, end it. I don't even know if I'm gonna get married on paper because that feels like a lot of paperwork to have to do if I already know how I am. It's like, I don't know. And then I go on to my second marriage, which is my midlife crisis. Like, he's young, he's hot. I'm this older woman with money. He's so enamored. Great. And then I'm like, what are you doing? You can't be with this young nigga. He don't got no money. And then I go into my third husband, who is like older, an architect. He has a yacht. And then I just be bringing my ex-husband on the yacht with my kids
With
and
your
my new
kids.
man. Because, he's European, so they're cool with that.
I love it.
I see that in my future.
I saw the whole thing.
You see it, right? You see the storyline. And so I think about it as like stages of life and where you want to be romantically.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a hard time thinking of being with one person for the rest of my life. But I also, it could just happen. I get you on like the what's next, but I guess it's like, even if you weren't married and you just found someone that you fucked with and you just kept fucking with them, and fucking with them, and fucking with them, and the time just keeps going on and on. It's kind of like
that's the
same
thing I'm
idea.
trying to figure out. Like, okay, you just keep fucking each other and the time continues. Because I've been thinking about that too. Like, people just decide to be like in a relationship and then now y'all just together. Like, what's next? Like, what does that mean? Now we're just gonna come over to my house all the time and then go out. I don't know. Just like, I need something else. Like, what else are we doing? Maybe we need to like create goals together.
Contract. You can end things.
No,
but it
I'm
doesn't
just
feel
saying.
like it's working.
No, I mean, even if it's working, it's just like working and we're just like, I don't know, need something else. But maybe it's that we need to conquer more like goals with each other and like experience life. And just that, when I add that to it, it starts to make more sense. But like, I was out with my friend last night and she's like, girl, it just gets boring. She's like, yeah, I mean, it's nice. We have dinner together and we watch shows and go to sleep. And it's nice. But she's like, I love hearing your stories. They like entertain me.
And boring?
She said
Maybe
it was
they
kind of
gotta spice
boring.
it up.
I don't know.
I think she needs to chop that man.
Yeah, I'm like, it shouldn't be. Well, okay. I have heard from like long-term married couples that there is like, there's ups and downs. But I think about like friendships, like long-term friendships. Like there are moments. There are like, it's the same thing. It's like any long-term important.
No, but you're not in my
relationship.
house all the time.
Yeah, but if that's the type of marriage you need, they don't have to be in your house all the time
You
either.
can send them away.
Yeah, you make things work how you want them to work.
Yeah, I think this is all very interesting. I'm very excited to see what the next few years holds for all of us, especially my fellow New York women out here in these streets with these
good luck.
Very unique individuals.
But I like that point you said, Chelsea. Like, it's like any relationship. It's like a friendship. It's like you kind of ebb and flow. I have a theory before we get into the what would you do. I almost think you almost shouldn't get to know someone too much. So you always have new things to uncover.
That makes sense to me.
I could kind of see that.
Jordan is like, what are you talking about?
You're on mute, Jordan.
You're on mute, Jordan. So it's like a surprise,
Yes, I'm just saying, I just can't just be knowing everything that you're about to say and do in my house. I'm going to lose my mind. I would be the person to like run away. You wake up in the morning, I'm gone. I left a note. Sorry, I couldn't do it. Yeah, literally. So I just can't.
Sorry, I can't on the post-it.
Jordan
is
is twisting. Jordan, if you are not watching, she is twisting and turning her face.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. No, I need to know everything about you before I decide to spend forever and death with you. Yeah.
Well, I'm like, I just learned that my boyfriend has like a random music genre that he really likes. It's like kind of like country rock. I
think that's cool. Those are things you can learn,
That's
new
so
things
cool.
you can learn. Yeah.
And it's like, impossible to know everything about your partner. Like, the only one who knows everything about you is you.
And you don't even know everything about yourself.
You don't even know.
Yeah, because you never stop growing. You never stop changing. There's always something new and different that you want to explore, or you're always a different person, right? So it's like, I don't know. I feel like in marriage, you shouldn't be bored with the person because they shouldn't be stagnant.
Right.
But I know for me in my dating life, my next step is dating somebody seriously. So like having a serious boyfriend, that would be my next step because I haven't had a serious actual We agreed to be partners in maybe like 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my next goal. Am I dating to marry? No. But am I dating to get to know someone to possibly have a partnership? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense to me. And I do think like the good part of dating that maybe we don't always think about is it's like all learning. So like
Yeah.
you're learning what you like, you're learning what you don't like. And I think eventually, I mean, I don't know you that well, Jourdan, but I'm thinking of some of my friends who are in similar positions who I do know well. Eventually they'll decide like, this is what I want in a marriage or long-term, whatever. So it's just like learning. Learnings.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
What would you do? Mm-hmm.
Wow. We've got a interesting what would you do? This wasn't a direct listener letter. A girlfriend was telling me a story and asked me to bring it to the show. And I'm glad that Jourdan, you are here with us to get into it. So long story short, her and her man were together initially for like 4 or 5 months. And it was kind of a gray area. There was no like, what are we? She left and traveled for a little bit and was like, I'll be back. In that time that she was traveling, it was kind of like a don't ask, don't tell. What was it in the army? When you weren't
don't
even-
ask, don't tell.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was a don't ask, don't tell. It was one of those situations. He starts seeing this girl, and they're kind of fucking around. Jourdan is already like, no. They're kind of fucking around. Shorty comes back, and she's like, all right, like, I'm back. You my man. What's up? And he breaks things off with this other girl. But that said girl is very much like in the mix. Like, she'll be out at things where they are mutually. She knows mutual friends. There
Who is this about?
are mutual situations that she was not privy to. She tells me that her boyfriend is like, I don't see why you're mad at this girl. You should be mad at me.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm saying I think they're both in the wrong. I think that she should be mad at him and mad at the girl. Sorry, I need to give additional context. Sorry, this isn't a proper listener letter. This is a story that being told and retold. Because the girl knew about her as well. Like, knew that he was seeing somebody, knew that said girl was in like a mutual friend group.
Bitches don't care.
I think they're both
But it's
in the
like,
wrong.
why should she care?
Mm-hmm. He's
She's
telling
not
me
in
that
a
y'all not
relationship.
really, whatever. He's coming over here.
Yeah,
Telling me
she's
that
not in
y'all
a
are kinda seeing each
relationship
other.
with the other girl. So if your friend is in the relationship with this dude and he chose to have a whatever with another girl that is in their circle, that's his fault. And also, she shouldn't have left the country without clarifying what they are and what they're doing. How you gonna leave and go, hey, okay, so we're gonna take a break. Don't ask, don't tell. But you don't say, hey, don't fuck my mutuals. Don't fuck my constituents.
Hey,
Like,
don't fuck my
My
mutuals.
constituent.
like, don't fuck my mutuals. I think fucking somebody you know, your partner knows, is disrespectful. So
I
you
agree.
should 1,000% be upset with her current partner. And the other girl don't got nothing to do with it because essentially they weren't together. Because they didn't clarify anything. So they weren't together.
Mm.
And she's mad
Yeah.
at the other girl because she's staying. That's the thing I've learned with like cheating and all of these things or messy situations. Somebody has to take the blame. And it's always going to be the person that you're not with. If you choose to stay with this person, you're going to be mad at the other girl. Somebody has to take this blame.
Get the blow, yeah.
Somebody has to take it. And it's easier for me to put it on you because you are not in my relationship. And I am not staying with you. Now, if she really was like, you know what, just fuck it, he would definitely take the blame. And he's right. He should take the blame. Because why are you fucking my mutual?
But also, she should take some of the blame because why didn't you have the conversation?
That too. So
Like-
they should be mad at each other.
Right. They need to just chop it, start again.
Mm,
No, I'm
New
kidding. Don't just
relationship?
chop it. I'm like,
no
maybe.
relationship with somebody else.
Right.
Ooh.
No, I think it could
Really?
be worked on. I do have a question though about like the other woman kind of thing. I don't agree with being mad at the other woman, right? But I do think, okay, I'll just say it. Maybe it's controversial. I don't know. I do think there is something wrong with women who knowingly are the other women.
Okay, I heard you. I told you one time I met this
Does
girl.
that make sense?
She was like openly, proudly saying like, yes, I'm a shareholder in this man. Like his girl,
I
his
find that
wife got a
so
share
weird.
and I have a share. I love dating men that are in committed relationships or that are married. Like crazy shit. I was looking at her like, are you fucking insane? That's weird. She likes
I've
it. She thinks
definitely-
there's perks and benefits.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. I think it's like you don't value yourself.
Mm.
Well, some people, I think it's like, for people that don't really want a super committed relationship, that gives them like, it gives them the out. They feel like they get the best of the person when they're with them and then they don't have to deal with all their other shit. I guess.
But like you're involving yourself in some other people's
Super
like,
messy.
It's just like, why? Like, I don't know. I don't get it. I've been the other girl, but I didn't know. Like I've been in that situation. I had no idea. I was being lied to that, but I would never do it knowing. Would you guys?
No.
Would I openly be the other woman?
Yeah. Knowing that you are the side.
Maybe like
piece.
5 years ago. Yeah, I would. I'm not gonna.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been the other woman once, but yeah, it was dumb. When I think about it, it was dumb.
Yeah, like now that
Yeah.
I'm older and wiser,
Never.
it just seems like messy. It's gonna sound fucked up. Not on some moral code shit, because everybody be lying and cheating. All right, she probably got another nigga too, but for my sanity and me, to your point, respecting myself, yeah, I just don't think that it's worth it. I do see how infidelities happen because people don't feel comfortable to be transparent, and it's typically something that you're looking for in this other person that you're not getting in your relationship.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think that in a lot of relationships, there's such a focus around ownership, owning a person, you're mine, you can't do blah, 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 that people immediately feel this need to rebel, even if it's in the littlest things. And I think men and women do this. I think it happens in more subtle ways and more outward ways where, like, you know, you're flirting with your work husband because you can emote to him in ways that you can't emote to your man. Or you're finding that you're engaging in little conversations when people DM you with heart eyes and you're like liking that attention because you feel like shit is stale and dry at home. Like I feel like people do it in very small ways. Now, full on, I'm cheating. Here's the hotel room. I'll see you there on Tuesday at noon. Like that's some other shit.
That just sounds so stressful and crazy.
That sounds kind of high. I'm not going to lie, but don't do that.
Well, when you said here's the
thinking
hotel
about it in,
room,
like,
I was kind of like,
fantasy.
ooh.
Yeah,
maybe you
I
just
think
do that with
I'm
your
gonna do that as
man.
a role play. Right,
Do-
I'm gonna
yeah,
do it as a
exactly.
role play. Like, book the hotel room. Maybe I'm the other bitch. I'm coming through with a trench coat.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
go.
kind of hot as a role play. Correct.
But not in real life, please. Because girls still have hands. I know people think that they
Right. You
don't,
trying to get jumped?
but they still do.
No,
You trying to see
That
me and my
part.
4 cousins?
that part.
Oh God.
You want to be the other woman?
Yeah, I would never be the other woman at my big age. Have I been the other woman? Yeah. And I was actually thinking about this earlier this week. There's only like 5 women that are walking that have ever met me that do not like me. And there's only one that has like a good reason. And it's the girl, it's that girl.
I
Yeah,
don't like you.
Yeah, if she don't like me, she got a good reason.
I'll never like you.
Yeah,
That's fair.
she
You
has
gotta
a
give her
great
that one.
reason. But like, he was my boyfriend first, so that's why I did it. And I was definitely like, okay, I had full understanding with what was going on before he even told me what was going on. I just kind of knew.
Oh, you knew.
So I was just like, okay, yeah, I'm with it. And then it was really ugly. It lasted maybe like 2 weeks, maybe like a month.
Oh,
Um,
that's water under the bridge.
yeah,
Shawty.
yeah. It was a long time ago, and now we don't talk at all because of that. But
Damn.
I definitely knew what I was doing, and I knew what I was getting into with that. But it was definitely like an ego thing. It was definitely like he's giving me this attention that he's not giving his girlfriend, who I already don't like. Yeah, it was just really dumb. Because essentially it was all him. It was all his fault. But again, somebody has to take the blame.
I think somebody's like emotionally cheating with me right now.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, that's the worst. That's even
like
worse.
I'm the emotional other woman.
That's
well, okay. I think there's a difference with being someone's friend. Like, I think you're allowed to have a friend. What makes you think it's like an emotional cheat? Like, you know how
I think I know who this person is, and I'm like,
I'm thinking of someone, but I'm like, I think, aren't you guys just like best friends?
But they used to fuck.
Right.
Oh, that's true.
Down.
Well, we can talk about that on the Patreon.
Yeah.
Hell no. That's a no. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a no. And with that, I'm going to bid y'all an adieu. Jourdan, thank you so much for coming on the show. If y'all want to hear part 2 of this, we are going to be on Jourdan's podcast, Dating NYC Pod. So stay tuned. More to come. Maybe Glenn will talk more about this
emotional cheating.
I don't know.
Glenn, you little hussy.
I know. Oh my God.
She's like, I am the other woman emotionally. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'm excited to see what we're going to chat about on your show. So stay tuned, y'all. There's more to come.
Bye.
Bye. All right.